And now let's get into the third round matches for tomorrow. The first one of the day, one of my favorites, Lorenzo Musetti, the Italian illustrator with the one-handed backhand, takes on the Argentine Navone. I think this is going to be a pretty grueling battle. I think Musetti ultimately is going to overcome Navone, but I think this match is going to have a lot of long exchanges. Navone is going to make life difficult. It's probably going to be a little bit tough for him to hold versus Musetti, who just is the better shot maker of the two. So I kind of like Navone to push him a little bit, but Musetti ultimately to overcome him in about probably in like 4 sets. But I do like taking the over games there because I think this is going to be a pretty tight match based off, the odds.
Yeah, I saw Navone Opelka, and I was like, what a contrast of styles, like
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
opposite players, and favored Navone, and sure enough, took him out pretty handily. I think Navone is built for this surface, obviously, and the way Musetti is able to, you know, be a pest and make his opponent hit that extra ball. Navone like built his whole game around that. So
hmm
that could make things interesting. That Musetti is going to have to be the aggressor in that matchup more so than he's used to. But I do definitely have Musetti winning. Maybe 4 sets at best, five. But I'm going maybe Navone takes a set like in a tiebreaker because those can go
yeah,
either way.
true. I like that. And then another great matchup. I might wake up early to watch this. The American hero, Tommy Paul, takes on Karen Khachanov, our Discord favorite. Tommy has revealed that he was dealing with a little bit of a lower ab injury, even though he was able to overcome Fucsovics and come back and cement the comeback in 5 sets. So there's a little bit of physical concerns going into
Shout
this
out to
one.
Fucsovics.
Yeah, Fucsovics is
One
a
of the
warrior.
few one of the few tennis bets I've ever made in my life was like 2021, him beating Medvedev, and I don't know if it was like 2019 or 2020, but it was in that like realm. And Medvedev was like the 3 seed, and Fucsovics beat him, and I got a good payout there. I was like,
There
wow,
you go. You
yeah,
always remember the guys that come through for
yeah,
you. That's like half
yeah.
of tennis is like I want that guy won me a bet, so I'm the fan of his for the rest of his career. So that's why you got to win these matches, guys. But yeah, so because of those physical concerns, Karen is a little bit of a favorite here. He's minus 140, which might surprise people if you just look at these names. But I'm probably going to stay away from maybe betting this match, maybe sprinkle Karen because, we love KK on the pod. But yeah, I think I'm a little too much unknown with how, Tommy's going to hold up physically. And on this grueling clay, like, there's not many more of a physical specimen than Karen Khachanov, 6'6" Chris Hemsworth or Liam Hemsworth. Like, he
Yeah,
is like a monster and he is so solid. And like, when do you ever hear Karen having physical concerns, and that physicality, guys like him, guys like Sasha, that excels on this Roland Garros clay. So I think he probably does overcome Tommy because of everything I said before. But I think I'm going to root for Karen here.
ah, upsetting. But I mean, I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, um, under normal circumstances, I would absolutely have Tommy Paul winning this. But the ab, like anything ab related in tennis, it's not just the serve and the overhead. It's also, kind of
Everything.
every shot is activated with the abs. That's why people grunt. It's like, you're like tightening your core. So if if that's off by 1%, the best of the best, like Karen Khachanov, are just too good to be able to overcome that. Um,
Agreed.
but I'm gonna hope that the injury is not so serious that it's gonna really affect every shot, and that TP can win and also kind of be a little recovered for his potential round of 16 matchup. Let's see.
True. It is early in these tournaments. These guys, for the most part, are physical freaks. So I don't usually. I kind of actually like taking guys off of 5 setters because people think like, oh, they played 5 sets, they're not going to be able to walk for the next rounds. Where it's like these guys have a day recovery in between. They got physios, like the best trainers, to get their bodies ready to play these matches. So I
We saw
think,
Monfils today against Draper. Kidding
yeah,
me?
like
That
pop
was
some pain
top of the
pills.
world.
Like got all guys are injured a little bit at this stage, so I think some players also like exaggerate it and play mind games with their opponents. So it's always tough to trust the injury concerns. So that's why I'm kind of staying away from here, because I think like, yeah, if Tommy is fine, he can win this match for sure. But yeah, I agree with what you said. Going into the next one, we got Nuno Borges taking on Alexei Popyrin. Talking about injuries, Borges benefited from Casper Ruud having his knee concerns, and he won that in 4 sets. But I actually kind of like Borges with his shot making, his kind of high risk tennis, that he can overcome Popyrin, who is very steady, and Popyrin's a solid clay player. He knows his way around the clay court, but I think Borges, for the most part, is a boomer bust kind of player. He's either like beating Medvedev or getting bageled by Medvedev.
I
So
like
he's always,
Borges too. I
yeah,
think he's
I
gonna
think I'm
win.
taking Borges as the underdog to overcome Poppy.
Yeah. As far as Nuno Borges goes, and of course, deep cut back into double fault lore, right? One of our first episodes, I introduced myself as Nuno Borges
True. We got to
from
bring back
Mishap.
those player intros, our fake ones, just in case, until we get the real guys on. We could just make.
In the meantime,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
he was like pushing top 20 in the worlds, very recently. And then he's had his own injuries that have sidetracked him a little bit, as well as a, influx of a few like younger players that like, all right, they're taking his spot while he's going back on the road. But this is a great opportunity. If he were to make like the quarterfinals here or something crazy, like that would boost his rankings and he would get back in the conversation of that, top 40, top 30. Not so much room between the top 30 and the top 20. It's
Yeah,
match by match for these guys.
definitely.
But yeah, I
One
like
good.
Borges there.
I agree. Yeah, one good run at a tournament can change your entire season, your entire career. And in the next matchup, one one potential matchup I really want to see down the line is Holger Rune versus Lorenzo Musetti. I really hope Holger gets by Quinton Halys, who is actually usually a dangerous underdog, and he is a very solid player. But I think Holger has too much upside here. He usually brings his best tennis in Roland Garros, and I think he gets by Halys, and then he plays Musetti in an epic 4th round clash, and that is going to be absolute must-watch TV, because I think both of those guys are the favorites. Whoever wins that match would be the favorites to get out of this quarter and make the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, Halys is there because someone got injured. I
Yeah,
forget.
Mahach,
Yeah,
Halys ben,
Mahatch got injured,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I
Halys
think Mahatch
benefited
would
from
have
the
taken
Mahach.
that.
Agreed.
Yeah, so good for Holger Rune. I mean, he's been in need of a break, no pun
Yeah,
intended. Like he has always run into like really tough opponents, like the third, 4th round. And they've knocked him out for the most part. Like Rune's not had a ton of quarterfinals in his career, so him versus Musetti for a quarterfinal berth, it's pretty appetizing.
yeah. I'm not sure if either of them have even made a Grand Slam semifinal, so this is like a prime opportunity for either of these guys. Have to kind of like go through each other to see who's ready to take on that next step and make a deep run at a slam. So that is definitely something to look out for in the future. The next player somehow always finds himself late in tournaments. Ben Shelton takes on Gigante, who upsetted Tsitsipas. The battle of the
Mm.
lefties. I think Ben, for most Americans, he actually adapts to the clay pretty well, because he is 6'4" and a freak athlete. For how good his serve is, he doesn't have like the sacrifice in movement, so he can hang on a clay court. And I think he overcomes Gigante, and then we see him play Carlos in the next round, in the 4th round.
Yeah, well, I think why Ben is so good on clay is because that forehand is just an example of a shot that it's effective on all surfaces. The way
True.
that Alcaraz's forehand And like when Federer was playing on clay, his forehand was so good. It didn't, at times it didn't matter that it was clay. It was still effective, right? And Shelton also has been able to use his intangibles that he's been working on, like the slice backhand is looking more dexterous than it has in the past, and always have that ability to come in and finish it at net.
And that service still is a massive
so
weapon
tough.
on all surfaces, and he has that incredible second serve kick serve. So
He's
he
where he
is
belongs. Yeah, it's
yeah
I don't
tough for
I'm
him
not
to get.
surprised. I'm not surprised that he's contending to make a quarterfinal or semifinal of every slam. That's where he's at. And I think that at this rate, he's overtaking Fritz for the top American spot. Like, I've
Yeah,
been saying that for, since Fritz. Oh my God, he's number 4 in the world. Shelton's
doesn't
gonna
really
overtake
count.
him.
Yeah.
Fritz is gonna go down to like 13 again. Like, come back down to earth. Tommy
Ben's gonna be
Paul
like Ben's
might,
gonna be like number 8.
don't know if Tommy Paul is gonna get inside the top 10, but I think Shelton is gonna get inside the top 10.
Tommy Paul is like the gatekeeper for the top like 12 to
Yeah,
15.
yeah,
Like
that's where he's at.
he's never quite gonna get in that like 8 range, like maybe once, but then he's gonna go like immediately back down to like 12.
Yeah, I mean Sam Querrey career high 11.
That's tough.
It's like like
So
forever.
close.
Like
That's funny.
he can't say he was a top 10 player.
Yeah, but
He
I
can
do.
say he was a semifinalist at Wimbledon, but
True. That is quite
regardless.
the flex. Yeah, I think Shelton gets through here. I like taking his money line. That might be a good parlay piece if you like Musetti to win as well. But speaking of Fritz, Daniel Altmaier actually took him out in the first round, and now he finds himself against Hamed Medjedovic, the Serbian Djokovic protege. So I think Medjedovic has a legitimate chance to not only win this matchup, but go on and beat the winner of Tiafo and Korda to meet Musetti / Rune in the quarterfinals. Medjedovic has that type of top tier talent. He's shown it at times this year. Not yet not quite yet the consistency to like really make that jump in the rankings. But I kind of like him to get over Altmaier, who is dangerous on a clay court and occasionally takes out top guys like he did like Sinner a couple years ago and now Fritz this year.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like Challenger's version of Sinner Alcaraz matchup. Like Alcaraz or Altmaier's going to be super steady like Sinner, and Medjedovic is going to just be ripping winners out of nowhere like Alcaraz. But Medjedovic definitely going to be more up and down, right?
Agreed.
So looking forward to it. That one, the graphic that you sent me, that Medjedovic was like top 3, like overall as far as like top spin / like speed on his forehands.
Oh yeah, he's like a very strong, sturdy, like 6'3" frame, and he gets a lot of his weight behind those shots.
Yeah,
And
so the statistics are backing up that, oh yeah, this guy's playing like highest level kind of tennis. It's just a
yeah,
matter of consistency, like you said, like because it's not only about especially on clay. It's not only about power game, right? You gotta have the shot making, like Alcaraz
did
is the pinnacle of what makes a great clay court player right now, and everyone's emulating him. But I think Medjedovic can do it. From what I've seen, he's got the whole package going right now, and Altmaier is as solid as he's always been. But he's like another gatekeeper of sorts. Like, all right, if you can be Altmaier, then you enter a new the next tier, or you lose to him, and then Altmaier's going to lose to someone who is up for it. The
yeah, he
next
already
round,
got his
in my
big.
opinion.
He only gets one big win at tournament, and he already used that up against Fritz.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but who do
I'm
you
going
think?
Medjedovic.
I'm going Medjedovic too. I think maybe 4 sets.
Let's
Maybe
go.
with if Medjedovic gets he is a little bit of a hothead at times. If he goes through those little dips, that happens occasionally over like a 3-4 hour long match like these are. I could see Altmaier like sticking in this, so I do kind of like the over here, but I think Medjedovic takes in like a tight 4 sets. Don't really have to spend much time on Carlos versus Dzumhur.
I think that
Is it Zoomer?
Dzumhur, if that's how you say it, Dzumhur might win
Yeah.
the whole tournament.
If he
You know, backing
takes
up
down
that,
Carlitos, I think he's probably the favorite to win this tournament. I would.
yeah,
He kind of ruined our GMP versus Alcaraz, which is kind of a bummer. But
yeah, it
I
would be
think,
cool to see.
but if we get Shelton playing Alcaraz in the next round, that'll be his real like first kind of half test for Carlitos. But that would actually be a very entertaining watch, I think.
Yeah,
But
we got
do you give?
Carlitos. I got Carlitos winning it all, baby. But yeah,
I also have Carlitos winning it all, and that's tough as a
come
Sinner
on,
guy.
how
It's either
could
going to
you?
be Carlitos or like Zverev.
We're
Or
discounting
like
Djokovic.
Djokovic. Oh
Come
yeah,
on,
or like
Djokovic.
Yeah, we'll get into those.
This is the
We'll talk
first time
about
that
that.
I've wanted. This is the first time that I've wanted Djokovic to succeed in the
No,
last like 20 years. I would love to see him just like come back and be clinical, just too good. But I doubt it.
they
I think
gave
there's too much
Djokovic the
explosive
easiest.
talent.
They gave Djokovic the easiest draw to get to the quarterfinals because they know he's going to sell tickets. But
Hmm.
going
Conspiracy
on,
theory.
so those were all the matchups for tomorrow. So let's get on to Saturday's matchups. And leading off the other side of the bracket, we have my boy, Yannick, winner, chicken sinner, taking on Yuri Lehecka, who had a pretty impressive win over Davidovich Fokina. Sinner,
Hey, Lehecka took out Alcaraz earlier this year. Right?
Sinner is obviously going to be a massive favorite over anybody, but I kind of think Lehecka has a little bit of value. He can
Yeah,
kind of
take a set
hang
at
here.
most.
Like I don't know about a set, but he is like Sinner is like minus 1400, and Lehecka is plus 900. Like this is also like a clay court. You know, it's not like this is a hard court where no one can hang with Sinner. Like I think Lehecka has like if he plays his best tennis, like he can. Like the over is only 31.5. Like that's so low. Like if Lehecka can push one set to like a tiebreaker or even take a set, then that's a guaranteed hit pretty much. So
And
I don't think this is going
Lehecka,
to be.
I think Lehecka's done a good job of separating himself from. I don't know what his ranking is now, but you know, no one who's inside the top 30, their ranking doesn't exactly reflect where they're at. You know, Lehecka is a great example of that. That there were times that he's been in the teens, you know, and he's just been on fire, gotten those top 10 wins in the last like year or two.
Yeah, he's
So
33 in the live rankings right now, but I think he
he
has
shouldn't
that.
be.
He's
He
higher
must
than
be up.
that. Yeah.
He must be on the upswing, coming back from injury. I
Yeah.
think that Lehecka's going to be a decently tough out. So honestly, I like Sinner losing a set to him, but winning it, you know, maybe like 6-3, like close couple of sets. And Sinner, you know, pushes himself uh, forward a little bit, like maybe 6-1, 6-3, third and fourth sets. That's what I'm going.
I
Lehecka
like
takes the
that.
second set, you know, or the first set.
But I like that a lot. But who do you think Sinner plays in the next round? Probably one of the best third round matchups. We have Andre Rublev taking on Artur Fils, the Frenchman who overcame Munar in a fifth set. He was down a break in that fifth set. He found a way to come through. A little bit of physical concerns maybe for Arthur, but like we said against Tommy Paul, I think this guy's he's only 21 years old. He's going to be able to rebound, and I can't wait to see how he holds up against Rublev because that's going to be a very interesting matchup.
Rublev, former top 5 gatekeeper. Um, Fils in an absolute. So this is another match I turned on this morning that I saw. Fils was in the fourth set with Munar and looked like he could barely move. And
Yeah,
then the point would start.
he got bageled.
He was playing like when the point started. He was playing decent tennis, but then he'd just go for a drop shot on like the second shot, and like Munar won at almost every point.
Yeah,
And 6-0, and I thought he was on the verge of retiring, but no, Feast just in that first game of the fifth set just came back like roaring, like the whole crowd was going crazy, like 40-love holds, and
Yeah,
then
he
he
got
gets,
the adrenaline rush and just like
and then
ignored all the
Munar,
pain he was in.
like barely held this next service game, and as you would always say, if you don't broke, you get broke, or if you don't break, you get broken.
Yeah,
Principle was applied. So then Feast got broken, Munar was up a set or up a break, and just momentum just shifted back to Feast, and
yeah, he broke twice, right, and took it.
yeah, just never left him. It's unbelievable back and forth. This is what makes 3 out of 5 matches so entertaining.
Yeah,
Because third and fourth set, you'd think that like if he's squeezed out the first 2 sets in tiebreakers, the third and fourth set, you think Munar's gonna bagel him in the fifth too. But totally different player came out in the
yeah,
fifth.
yeah.
So entertaining.
These matches are marathons. They're like, especially when they go 5 sets, they're like 3 to 4 hours. Like, you might not feel good hour one, but then you feel better in like hour three. So sometimes you got to buy time to see how your body is gonna like quickly recover in those circumstances. And with a day of recovery, I hope Fees has the legs underneath him to take on Rublev here, because Rublev is as sturdy as they come, and in these long matches is gonna like his consistency. It's gonna be tough for Fees to overcome here. I think
I think
Rublev
Rublev's
has
going
the
to be rested. I think he's
yeah.
rested
He's
also. So that's a
he's
variable
the
here.
he's a surprising pretty big favorite here, -185. I think they're a little concerned about Fees' body probably. That's a little baked in there, but Rublev, I think he has a higher floor here, where has that higher ceiling. Like if Fees does play his best tennis, his body does hold up. I think he wins this, and I think he would actually pose a bigger threat to Sinner than Rublev. I think that how those match up in the next round. I think Fees would have a better chance to trouble Yannick, where Rublev kind of plays into what Sinner does really well from the baseline, because
Right.
no one's better than Sinner's side to side, and that's kind of
True.
Rublev's bread and butter. But I think Rublev's firepower and just like how solid he is, serve and return, is going to be tough for Fees if his body's not all the way there and your footwork's a little slow, and then you start spraying some errors, and then the home French crowd is disappointed. Like I could see that happening a little bit.
I
So
wouldn't bet. Yeah, I wouldn't bet this one,
I'm not going to
to be
touch it because
honest.
of all the one. It's a lot of unknown to see how Arthur is going to come out, but I'm definitely just kind of going to root for him to overcome here, because I just want to see Fees play center. To be honest, I think
Yeah.
the level we've seen from him this year would be really interesting to see those guys go at each other. And then moving down, we have Talon Griekspoor taking on Ethan Quinn. Quinn benefited from the Dimitrov walkover, and Griekspoor took down Diallo after he upset Sarundalo in the first round. I don't think Ethan Quinn, I give him much of a chance here against an experienced vet like Talon. I think that should be relatively soon smooth sailings for Griekspoor.
Agreed.
But then an absolutely electric blockbuster. I said Fees Rublev might be the first third round matchup, but I think I misspoke. It's Jack Draper versus the Wonder Boy Brazilian Joao Fonseca. That's the one that's going to have all the eyeballs. Fonseca in his Roland Garros main draw debut has been absolutely showtime tennis, making the third round here, taking upsetting Hurkacz in the first round, beating a very solid veteran in Air Bear in straight sets in the second round. He rightfully has earned this crack at Draper, and Draper right now is at the top of the game, so this is going to be a phenomenal gauge to see what kind of level Fonseca is playing at, because from what I've seen, I think he is showing he's going to be at the top of the game very soon. It's only a matter of time.
Agreed. And also, I would say, like, what did Jack Draper do to deserve this? Like, had to face Monfils, who was on the verge of his would have been his record-setting 41st Roland Garros win. So he's still tied with Sangha at 40 for most all time.
Oh, really?
wins at
So
Roland
he's
Garros.
coming back next year.
So Murphy's probably, hopefully, coming back. Try to squeeze out another 5-set first round win. But yeah, Draper had to ward him off in the second round. Now he has to face the, debatably, but in my opinion, the hottest up and coming player on the tour, João Fonseca. And
He,
at Roland Garros like environment, he literally played a player from France today, and the crowd was rooting for Fonseca more than Herbert.
People love this kid, dude. I love this kid. He's a star, man. He's got everything. He's the complete package for like massive tennis star. Like I think he's we don't want to get too far ahead on the
He's playing top
expectations, but
20 tennis right now,
but like
but he's
we
not a
can
top 20 player yet. But he will
we
be.
got to believe what our eyes are seeing at this point. Like he's got it all. He's got the firepower on both wings. He got the size on serve. He's got the variety to mix it in with the feel and the slice and the drop shot. He's got the team around him that's sturdy and instilled like proper mentality and like warrior tennis and positive body language. And, he's got the good accent and the decent looks to be personable in the media and like attract fans. So this kid is not going anywhere, and he's going to be, much watched TV for the foreseeable future. And I need to watch this match. I'm glad
Yeah,
it's on
this
Saturday
is
because
going to
I
be a
might have taken
banger.
off work for this, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute banger of a match. I mean,
Do you give
I
Fonseca a real chance to beat Draper, though?
I do. I give him a real chance to beat him.
Back on Indian Wells on the hard courts, Draper handled Fonseca pretty comfortably in 2 sets, but I think
Mm-hmm.
on the clay here, Fonseca, he gets a little bit more help from the clay, where I think this is going to be a much tighter contest, and he's got nothing to lose.
I'm going
Pressure's on.
Fonseca. I really am.
Pressure pressure is on the 5 seed Draper, and if Fonseca takes down Draper, he gets the winner of Bublik Rocha in the next round. So I think
It's a walk to the quarters.
immediately the winner of this Fonseca Draper matchup gets to the quarterfinals and
Mm-hmm.
takes on most likely Sinner or Fees or Rublev. So great part of the draw for these two where, they're going to have an advantage or on paper be the favorites going into their next round. But I think it's hard not to pick I want to go like Fonseca in 5 because
Mm-hmm.
Draper's disgustingly good.
He
Like
is. It's
he's
so
like
so tough.
it's
Fonseca's the only person besides Alcaraz and Sinner. Even if Djokovic was playing Draper, I think I have Draper right now.
yeah, like
I think Fonseca is due for another top 10, top 5 win like this, and he's never done it this deep in a slam. I
yeah.
think this could be his moment
And
because
it would be quite the moment. I think that's just our ambitious and high hopes for the kid to pick him here.
I
I think
wouldn't
in all
bet it. I
reality,
wouldn't. I
yeah, I
wouldn't put
think
money down on that. But just
I
since
think
I'm not, I'm going Fonseca.
I'm gonna go Draper in 4 sets, or maybe in 5 sets. Maybe Draper in like a 5 sets where he holds
Boo.
up better physically. Because I just think he's the
It's
more
realistic.
consistent.
That's
He's the more
realistic.
consistent option, and his leftiness he can avoid Fonseca's forehand. And his backhand's still
His
a weapon.
backhand's lethal.
He can smack that as well. But I don't know. I trust Jack these days. He's looking too solid, and I think
I don't know,
Fonseca, he
man.
just, we forget Fonseca is 18. So, like, at some point, it's like, when does that matter? When does his body not hold up or he doesn't have the mentals? But it's like, I don't know, maybe he does. Or just, like, does it because of youthful, like, inexperience, and that helps. But I'm going to go Draper in 5 sets
Fonseca.
reluctantly and hope I'm
Literally
just going to.
every time at the French Open when they say like game, someone wins. Like they literally pretty much say his first name. They're like Je Fonseca. Like,
Yeah.
for a reason,
Yeah.
There's like, well, yeah, another game goes to Fonseca.
Yeah,
Every
they
game
gotta
anyone
stop.
wins, Ja. And,
Ja
oh yeah, I guess
Fonseca.
Draper, whatever. Joe Fonseca.
They got to stop putting Fonseca on the side courts because they're getting flooded. He should be
Yeah.
in the at this point put him in the main courts because he can he could probably fill a stadium with the hype around this kid's right now.
Oh, that'll
But
be a
yeah,
temporary problem.
oh
Don't
yeah.
worry.
Once
That'll be
he gets his
temporary.
ranking higher, he's gonna be mainstay in these big venues. But let's get into the last couple matchups here. Novak Djokovic could not have gotten an easier draw to the quarterfinals. He takes on Misolic after overcoming Mute in straight sets.
Should have
Mute
been
honestly
Shapo.
should have been
Shapo
Shapo,
versus
but not
Djokovic.
really. Shapo really kind of blew that fifth set. Couldn't break back. Very disappointing result for our boy. But I don't see much trouble here for Novak. I don't see much trouble for Novak against Cam Norrie or Fernley in the next round. And I think we're only going to get to know Djokovic's true form here if he takes on Zverev in the quarterfinals. That's going to be the first gauge to know if he's for real, if he can win this slam. That's going to be quite the interesting matchup. A lot is unknown with Djokovic. Obviously, his ceiling is one of the best players of all time. And so I'm very curious to see how that match goes if we get it. But I'm not really going to give much.
I think Norrie is going to give him some trouble. It's my
I don't
prediction.
know.
I think that Norrie is going to make a match of his fourth round encounter with Novak.
Well, you think
and make him earn his quarterfinal. I think Novak's going to earn it, but I think there's going to be some back and forth there. It's
you think
possible
Norrie
it might
takes
go
down
like 5
Fernley?
sets. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I kind of
I think
agree there, to be honest.
Norrie's
even
looking
though
to
Fernley's a slight favorite.
Norrie's looking to get back into the top 20.
Agreed.
He's playing like as unorthodox as he is. No, he's had some results to back it up, especially this tournament. He could do
Agreed.
it. So, and Djokovic knows. Djokovic played Norrie back when he was top 8.
Yeah.
Although he was literally 8, but
yeah, Norrie was like the alternative for the ATP finals at some point. So who knows when he can summon that kind of tennis? Maybe he can push Novak a little bit.
Oh, so maybe he wasn't number 8. Maybe he was like number 10.
Yeah,
I don't know what his
9 or
career
10,
high is.
Yeah, I agree. That's okay. We don't have to look that up. Yeah. No, sorry.
We get it though. Norrie kind of has that pedigree, he's never been top 5 or anything, but
yeah, definitely,
he's got that pedigree behind him. So I like him at least making Djokovic earn it a little bit to the quarterfinals.
Definitely,
that was my point.
But Jeremy, I cannot wait to watch this tennis tomorrow and Saturday. We are in some good third round matchups, even better matchups to look forward to later on in the tournament. We're going to get back and reconvene right before the fourth round, hopefully, to get all these matches. But
Dzumhur with the upset over Alcaraz. I can't believe we predicted that, dude. It's gonna be nuts.
Let's go Carlitos. Let's go Fonseca. Let's go Fees. All of our shiny new toys. We want them to have the results to back up their talent. But let's go enjoy this tennis and keep double faulting out there. Don't forget to subscribe if you've been enjoying the channel, and we'll see you on the court soon.